From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, October 30th. It is just kind of a nasty day. It's going to be nasty tomorrow, too. Clear out this rain by the latter half of the day, but it's going to stay cold. We're going to reach highs in the mid-40s. Winds out of the northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Going to get really cold tonight into the 20s. And then tomorrow kind of back into that 40-degree range. And it's going to be a really miserable night for trick-or-treaters. So get those costumes reinforced now. And Indianapolis police say they have released the person responsible for a deadly early morning shooting. We followed this as breaking news on Daybreak today. It happened just before 1 at the Aura Apartments near 39th and I-65. Detectives say they interviewed a person of interest and let them go. Police say they found a gun next to the victim. They're now working to figure out if anyone else was involved. IMPD has not released the name or age of the person shot. The 10 victims of the weekend mass shooting in Indianapolis are all teenagers or young adults. IMPD says the person killed was a teenage girl. Police have not released her name or exact age, but they are giving more information about the 9 surviving victims. Police say 3 are 16, 2 are 17, 2 are 18, and 2 are 21. It happened just after midnight Sunday morning in a business-heavy stretch of 65th Street between Allisonville Road and Benford Boulevard. Police say they went to a call of a large party and heard gunshots when they arrived. Police say they found several guns at the scene and initially detained some people, but later let them go. And multiple mass shootings across the United States this weekend left 11 people dead and at least 76 people wounded. According to the Gun Violence Archive, 12 mass shootings happened between Friday and Sunday. Map from Gun Violence Archive shows a lot of shootings in 2023. We've got that map. You can see it online right now. A suspect is now in custody for a mass shooting in downtown Tampa, Florida. Tyrell Phillips is charged with second-degree murder, accused of killing 2 people, including a 14-year-old, and wounding 16 others early yesterday morning. Police in Atlanta say someone shot 4 people yesterday, including 2 Georgia State students. 3 of the victims are stable. 1 is critically wounded. And in Texas, police say 3 people died after a fist fight escalated to gun violence Saturday night. Investigators are now looking for a 20-year-old suspect. And people in Lewiston, Maine returned to work and school today, the morning after coming together to mourn the victims of the state's worst mass shooting. More than 1,000 people attended a vigil last night to honor the 18 people killed. Religious leaders spoke of the pain, the healing process, and the town's resilience. Reverend Todd Little said Lewiston's diverse community now has something new in common: shared brokenness.
We will be Lewiston stronger. What has happened here may shape our growth, and we will not be defined by the tragedies that have happened here.
The vigil came 2 days after authorities found the body of suspected gunman Robert Card. Investigators think he shot himself at a recycling center in Lisbon Falls, but aren't sure when. CNN now reports the Maine National Guard asked police to check on Card weeks before he carried out the shooting. Card was an Army reservist. CNN cites an anonymous law enforcement official who says a fellow guardsman reported his concern that Card would, in his words, snap and commit a mass shooting. CNN reports police unsuccessfully tried to contact Card. Investigators are still searching for a motive. And this morning, Israeli troops and tanks are pushing deeper into the northern Gaza Strip, furthering what leaders are calling the second stage of the war. The move comes directly on the heels of a new round of relief reaching Gaza from Egypt. 33 trucks with supplies and the largest convoy of aid since the war started. The United Nations is warning of growing desperation among Palestinians inside Gaza. Humanitarian workers say thousands of people broke into warehouses to take flour and basic hygiene products. The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is calling on Israel to make efforts to make sure civilians have access to food and medicine. The call may have limited impact in Israel, which is not a member of the ICC. Officials in Gaza now say more than 8,000 people have died there between weeks of airstrikes and the new ground invasion. In Israel, the death toll stands at 1,400, mostly in the Hamas attacks that led to the war. U.S. officials are now warning that the war could expand further into the Middle East.
Hamas is making life extremely difficult for Israel by taking civilians as human shields and by putting their rocket infrastructure and terrorist infrastructure among civilians. That creates an added burden for Israel.
Iran's president warns the war could force everyone to take action. An Indianapolis-based doctor is now working in Israel. The Jewish Federation of Greater Indianapolis says Dr. Louis Profeta landed in the Middle East yesterday. He's an emergency room doctor at Ascension St. Vincent. He posted on Facebook that he plans to spend his time in northern Israel working at a trauma center near the border with Lebanon. The Colts are now the losers of 3 straight games. Yesterday against the Saints exploited a young, depleted secondary in yesterday's 38-27 win over the Colts. Derek Carr repeatedly picked on fill-in cornerback Tony Brown, who gave up 2 big passes. He also drew a face mask penalty that helped set up the Saints' final touchdown.
It's tough. Being as strong a competitor as I am, it's tough to lose. Tough to get the last play, I feel like, on me. So right now I feel like I gotta watch the film and I gotta get better.
Defensively, we didn't get it done. Obviously it's a team sport and we gotta play better complementary football. The offense is scoring points. 27 points is enough points for us to come out with a dub.
The devil's in the details, you know what I mean? I feel like, whether this game or last game, it's just like, man, we losing by the margins. It's a precision league and we gotta execute.
The Colts travel to North Carolina to take on the Panthers and former head coach Frank Reich this Sunday. A limited gag order is back in place in former President Trump's election interference case. The judge reimposed the order last night, which bans Trump from making public comments targeting prosecutors, court staff, and potential witnesses. Prosecutors argued Trump's recent social media comments about his former chief of staff represented an attempt to influence and intimidate a likely witness. Trump's lawyers say that they will appeal that decision. Marion County election leaders say early voting numbers are way up over the last similar election. The election board reports 5,467 people cast early ballots over the weekend. Fewer than 1,000 voted early on the same days in 2019 municipal election. 9 early voting locations are open in Marion County through Sunday. We have all of those locations in Central Indiana's largest counties on wishtv.com. Just click on this story in the As Seen on Wish TV section. Friends, co-stars, and fans of Matthew Perry are mourning his death this morning. They placed flowers outside the iconic Friends apartment in New York City. Perry, of course, played Chandler Bing on the show for 10 seasons. He was found dead at his L.A. home on Saturday. The Friends co-creators and executive producer released a joint statement yesterday saying, "This truly is the one where our hearts are broken," a nod to how the show titled its episodes. Fans remembered Perry while paying respects.
There's nobody like Chandler, so it's a terrible loss. It's unbelievable that he is not on the earth with us anymore. I can't imagine how the other friends are feeling.
According to TMZ and the LA Times, Perry was found dead in a hot tub. Records from the medical examiner indicate investigators need more time to figure out exactly how he died. Perry was 54 years old. And to business headlines, oil fell after Israel committed forces to Gaza with a more cautious approach than expected. While Israel has sent troops and tanks into northern Gaza Strip in retaliation for the October 7th attacks, it's taking a day-by-day approach instead of a massive invasion. The U.S. has frozen gun exports. The Commerce Department is halting exports of most U.S.-made firearms for 90 days and reviewing its support of the country's biggest gun trade show to ensure such backing does not undermine U.S. policy interests. President Biden is expected to announce today an executive order on artificial intelligence. Politico reports it would streamline high-skilled immigration, create a raft of new government offices and task forces, and pave the way for the use of more AI in nearly every facet of life touched by the federal government, from healthcare to education. X starts subscription tiers that cost up to $16 a month. Subscribers have the option of paying $3 a month for the basic tier, which provides features such as the ability to edit posts and upload longer videos, according to the company formerly known as Twitter. Web users can opt to pay $8 a month for the premium tier or $16 a month for Premium Plus to get additional benefits, including the blue checkmark, ad revenue sharing, and fewer or no ads in their timelines. And Halloween candy sales fell 3.9% in the 12 weeks ending October 8th compared to the same period last year. It's according to scan data and a report from Bloomberg Intelligence. The report states that Halloween candy sales may only grow 7% due to tight shopper budgets. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.